do. Are seniors here, both of them? They are. So, at this time, I would like to call up now Devon Warren.
Yes. I'm now Warren. Papa the D Warren.
We can read a letter.
Yeah. That's right about that.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I would say it's glad to be home, right?
Yeah.
Also, like to say go Knicks. I know there's some Philadelphia
That's
Sixers
right,
fans.
that's right, that's right.
Gotta throw it out there.
That's
RJ
right.
Barrett's in the house. So, every year I give a scholarship to the students that are going into college that have been participating at Mount Olivet for over the years. And I think this year was special to me because I wanted students to get a speech from someone who was like that. Someone who went to high school, someone who went to college from there, someone who's excelled since then. So I invited my friend William Appiah to come speak to you guys today. Willie and I have known each other for over 15 years, and I'm only 28, so. Willie was on the football team, went to high school, like I said. He then went on to Montclair University, graduated from there, and now works in New York City at Deloitte. And he also is a published author, working on his second book. So Willie, come up and give some words to the graduates.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Thank you, Devon. First and foremost, thank you to the Warren family for having me, for inviting me to this special day with all of you. First and foremost, I want to acknowledge, the speech. Despite, all of the material, college degree, published author, whatever else you said, I think the true value and the true success is the people who I've been able to take along the way with me. 15 plus years, but it's definitely felt like longer, just because of those relationships that you build and the value that comes from everything you're able to take away from those people in your lives. So, is there a mic that I can walk with? Or
There is one.
there is?
I forgot to mention, Willie also won poetry contest here a few years back.
Here?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I remember.
Oh, you remember? Thank you very much, ma'am. Check. So when I started my speech, I actually wanted to speak about perseverance and what it meant to me, what it meant to all of you, and what I'm sure it means to our college, our high school graduates going on to college. But then life happened, and yesterday I watched a Netflix miniseries called When They See Us. I don't know if anyone else saw it. Yeah? You saw it yesterday as well?
Yes.
So I watched the miniseries, and I will say after the second episode, I was crushed. I was destroyed, and I was appalled at what I saw, to be honest. Not just for what happened, but who it happened to and how easily it was that something like that could happen to our children and our brothers and our sisters and just the people we build in our communities. So I partially wanted to scrap what I drafted, just to speak, from my heart. So, what perseverance means to me is it means the ability to fight through anything, any challenges, any obstacles, just anything that's put in front of you to limit you and to prevent you from getting to your goal. All of you, and I'm sure all of the children who have gone through the program and the high school students who are on their way to university, you've seen challenges, but nothing is larger than the challenge of yourself. And I say that because we are our own worst enemies. We are the people in our lives who doubt ourselves and who tell ourselves that we aren't enough and we don't look enough. We don't speak well enough. We don't dance well enough. But I think, being able to identify what the challenge is and being able to work through it is really what makes us strong and really what helps us propel in our careers. So the reason I reference the mini-series is because we have an obligation. We as, I'm not a father, but we as fathers, we as brothers, we as sisters, we have an obligation to ensure that the folks who come behind us are equipped with the necessary information that they need, as well as the necessary resources that they can attain to be successful in their lives. And putting ourselves before the needs of our children has never been something that, well, again, I don't have children, but putting ourselves before the needs of the next generation is something that I don't believe will make the world a better place. And I say that in the sense of, I forget who said it, but they said, an eye for an eye makes a blind world. And I believe it, and I believe it because, all of us have a position and all of us have that responsibility to, despite, two blind eyes, to keep them both open and to keep them all focused on where we're going. Are the two high school students here right now? Yeah. So, I want to speak to you guys directly and tell you that, the responsibility you both have in the world for tomorrow and for the world that we're all trying to create, it's more important now than it's ever been. And that's because with the change in technology, with the change in violence, with the change in drugs, in music, and how easy it is to get access to these things, it's important for you to be different, for you to be the person who walks the other way, and for you to be the person who sets that example for your little brothers or your little sisters who are coming up behind you, looking for your example, looking for you to be the person who comes and changes their lives. What I felt after I saw When They See Us, it showed the perseverance of families and of mothers and of fathers and what it meant for them to be there by their children. And I think all of us, despite if we're children or despite if we're mothers, fathers, or grandparents, we all still have that responsibility. So going back to what I wrote down. So why it matters? So it matters because you matter. And you matter because you are someone who can make a difference. I had an opportunity, Devin had an opportunity, as everyone in this room had an opportunity, but the thing about opportunities is it's like a coin. You can either take it and it's like a coin or a double-edged sword. You can take it and you can propel yourself, you can change the world, or you can see it and you can take advantage of it and you can disregard it and you can just allow it to fall by the wayside. It matters for you because you have to be the person who sees that coin and makes that deposit in your life and someone else's life. So that's why you matter, and that's why it matters to me. So how you can change the world? You can change the world by understanding you matter, you care. We care about you, so you should care about anything else that you invest your time and your efforts and your strength into. And if you don't mind me speaking about, just the content of what I write about. So I try to write a narrative of characters historically who haven't been seen as heroes. So in the first book that I had published, which is titled The Purposeful Oliver Burke, essentially the story is about a man who's well off. He has everything, he has the world. He has a little bit of what we've seen in Wall Street. People are very successful. The money can make people very prominent in our lives. So this character, he has that. And he experiences some things in his life that causes him to question the value of all the money and all the success and just all of the efforts he's put into his life up until that point. So he finds himself in a very compromising position because he doesn't know how to deal with that. Up until that point, he had always been so successful and he had always been, regarded very highly. And when he finds himself at rock bottom, it's almost like, who's there to help bring me back? And you know, that's why we're all here, is for the high school students. We're all here to help keep you there. And if you fall, we're gonna bring you back up. So in the novel, he falls and he hits rock bottom. And then there is an unlikely, mysterious stranger who comes into his life and helps him see why he matters and the value of everything that he's done up until that point, outside of just the money, outside of just the success. Like what he's done because of the goodness of his heart is really what brought value into the lives of the people he's affected. And the reason I say all of that and how it's relevant to this is because that mysterious character who I wrote about is each and every one of you. Each and every one of you woke up this morning and you came to this service because you knew how much it meant to that high school student. And despite not knowing what battles the two of them had to fight prior to this day, we're all here because we need to be. And that mysterious character is us. It's you. It's me. It's you. It's you. It's you. And I think that we have to continue with that obligation. So if it's not me, if it's not Devin, if it's not Mr. Warren, it's gonna be someone else. And if it's not the people who want to see our children propel themselves and continue to grow, then it's gonna be the people who see them fall and the people who wanna push them by the wayside. So I wanna close just with that last point. I wanna close just by mentioning, and this is not a plug by any means, but again, the content of what I write about. So the next book that I've really been focusing on is those two ends of a coin. And on one end, it's the person who wants to see you succeed. It's the person who wants to help you propel yourself, the person who wants to help you grow. And on the other end, it's the person who wants to take advantage of that opportunity. Being able to identify that person is crucial, and it's very valuable and for all of us, because that person, more often than not, will look like each other. You know, they look the same. We all have two eyes, we all have 2 ears, we all have hands. You know, they all look the same, but what's in here is really what separates them. And the title of my second book, you know, we mentioned angels. The title of my second book is "The Angels Are Flying So Low," and you know, that's because, you know, as I'm sure we all know, you know, there are two types of angels: the good angels who really want to help get us there, and then the other angels who want to take us, you know, to a place far beyond where we need to be. And we have to be that one. We have to be the one who wants to elevate all of us. So I thank you to our high school students. Congratulations. You know, it's really important that you guys keep pushing forward and you guys fight. You know, and not physically, not mentally, not emotionally, but just keep fighting on behalf of all of us, because in 10 years, we're gonna be looking for you to be the people who are standing up here, giving the speech and giving the donation to our students and our youth. And I see some of our youth here, so remember this speech, because you'll be the person we're giving that donation to. And I thank you.
Thank you, Willie. That was really good. I'm shining walking around and stuff. So if I can have Spencer and Tosh come up here.